This story comes to us from 6abc.com. Out of Pennsylvania, Delaware County's district attorney announced charges Tuesday against 3 Sharon Hill police officers in connection with the death of an 8-year-old girl and the wounding of 3 others after an August 27th, 2021 football game. Now, officers Devin Smith, Sean Doley, and Brian Devaney are each charged with a total of 12 criminal counts of manslaughter and reckless endangerment.
Sharon Hill police officers Devin Smith, Sean Dolan, and Brian Devaney are all facing charges today, 12 counts of manslaughter and reckless endangerment each for their roles in a shooting outside of a high school football game, a shooting that left 8-year-old Fanta dead. The deadly shooting unfolded outside of the Academy Park Pennsbury football game back on August 27th. Witnesses told police 18-year-old Hussein Strand and 16-year-old Angelo A.J. Ford got into a verbal fight that night and then started shooting at each other. The 3 Sharon Hill officers were at the game helping people exit when they heard the shots.
District Attorney Jack Stolzheimer said, "From the moment the call came in on August 27th, my team of investigators and prosecutors has worked tirelessly to achieve justice for Fanta and the other victims of the tragic night. Today's charges are a big step forward in that process."
These officers made a split-second decision to return fire. We trust them to get that decision right, and they got it horribly wrong.
A grand jury found the officers collectively fired their guns 25 times, injuring 4 people and leaving the 8-year-old girl dead.
The shooting happened on the night August 2021 at the Academy Park High School in the 900 block of Coates Street in Sharon Hill. The gunfire included 2 shots in the direction of the 3 officers who were monitoring the crowd exiting the school stadium the night after the football game. The police officers then allegedly discharged their weapons in the direction of the Academy Park football field. So they hear shots and they just start shooting back.
A grand jury found in all these officers fired more than 24 shots that night. 4 people were shot, and as you mentioned, 8-year-old Fanta was killed. That family's attorney says what the officers did was reckless, and this is the first step in finding justice. But proving which officer fired the deadly shot may not be possible.
Unfortunately, when the bullet struck something on its way from the gun to Fanta, it destroyed the ability to microscopically compare it to the known projectiles that would be fired from those 3 police guns.
Attorneys representing the 3 officers wrote in a statement, quote, "These 3 good men are innocent and remain heartbroken for all who have suffered because of this senseless violence."
They feel like that justice is being done.
DA Stolzheimer said in a news release, "We now have concluded beyond a reasonable doubt that it was, in fact, shots from the officers that struck and killed Fanta and injured the 3 others." Officials said the initial shots on Coates Street began with a verbal altercation at the football game between Angelo A.J. Ford of Sharon Hill and Hussein Strand of Collingdale. That story goes on a little bit longer here. Hold on. Ford is charged with serious crimes for his attempt to kill Strand, officials said. Meanwhile, Strand has pleaded guilty to aggravated assault for his role in wounding one of the children by gunfire and to illegal possession of a firearm.
Meantime, the 2 teens involved in the initial gunfire are no longer facing first-degree murder charges. Ford is now awaiting trial on other charges related to the shooting, and Strand pleaded guilty this week to aggravated assault and illegal possession of a firearm. He'll serve up to 64 months in prison.
Stolzheimer's office also announced Tuesday that murder charges related to Billy's killing were withdrawn against Ford and Strand. That's because they're charging the 3 officers with manslaughter, not murder. And the DA says, "I fully realize that the tragic death of Fanta and the trauma inflicted on her family, the other victims, and community members involved has been emotionally draining to all, including the investigators and prosecutors assigned. No one touched by this incident will ever be the same. I hope that today's announcement will help the community begin to heal through the knowledge that all the individuals who fired guns that night are being held accountable for their actions under our laws. Bond was set at $500,000 unsecured for each of the 3 defendants. A preliminary hearing has been scheduled for January 27th. That's this month. Now, following the announcement of the charges, we're also going to hear from the union here. FOP Lodge 27 President Joseph Fitzgerald issued this statement. This is a sad day for our officers who face criminal charges for trying to do their jobs and keeping the community safe. Yeah, by firing into a crowd because you heard shots. The FOP continues to support these fine officers and will provide a vigorous defense against these allegations. Why does the union always back bad cops? Always! I mean, it's even come out in the investigation that these officers heard shots and fired into a crowd. There's people all over the... I know you guys are going to say some of these blue line supporters are going to come on here and go, well, they were getting shot at and had to do what they had to do. I mean, yeah, forget the innocent people. They're what we call collateral damage. There's also a statement which you can read in the link below by Sharon Hill Council President Tanya Allen, who gives a statement there that you can read it in the link below. But it's just crazy to think that every time a cop does something reckless, the union goes, well, he's just doing his job, that poor guy being picked on. You know, doing your job doesn't include just recklessly firing into a crowd. That's when you take cover or concealment and try to get everybody out of the area. Not shoot into the crowd. But again, they're being charged with manslaughter. And like Van Dyke, who killed someone and served less than 4 years, these guys will probably serve about 3.5, 4 years and then be put on parole for the murder of an 8-year-old.